What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Franchise Empire newsletter. And today we are going to dive into a home service resale for $555,000. That's a lot of fives. How much do commercial cleaning businesses make? We'll go over the startup cost, the sales, the royalties, fees, all of that good stuff, as well as we'll tell you about a recent candidate that we worked with here at Franchise Empire and the number one mistake buyers make with passive franchises. And before we do that and jump into it, just a quick message. All right. Well, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Tarek Johnson. I am the CEO and founder of Franchise Empire, and I'm here with our head of brokerage, Mr. Mark Magerman. What's up, Mark?
Hi, Tarek. Good afternoon. Happy holidays a little bit early.
Yes. Yeah. Happy holidays. It's definitely that season, huh?
It is. And this will be the last time you and I are live here in 2025. Is that right? So we may have some, content, but we've already pre-done that one. So this will be the last time. Next time you and I are doing this, it'll be a new year. It's very exciting.
It will be. It's crazy. Time flies. A year ago, basically a year and a month ago, Mark and I were just starting together, embarking on this journey of building this recent iteration of Franchise Empire. It's crazy how fast a year goes.
It's funny in relationships in your life, right? So, you're married with children now. So it's hard for you to imagine that there was a time in your life that you didn't have your children, you didn't have your wife, right? And you and I have been working together for a year. I'm a lot older than you are. I've done a lot more things. And it's like, was there actually a time in my life I didn't know Tarek Johnson or Franchise Empire? Like, obviously there was, but when you dive into something and you spend so much time with people, it becomes very, you can't help but become closely attached to people, personally and professionally. So you and I were talking a little earlier, obviously, about, we made a lot of accomplishments this year. We're very, very proud of what we've accomplished and really what's to come.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's true. You do get so consumed in it. It just feels like that it's not just reality now, but that it has always been reality.
Exactly.
Yeah. And for those of you guys listening and watching, that's kind of like it's kind of like what it feels like once you become an entrepreneur. If you're still on the other side of it, by the way, where you're not an entrepreneur now, and that's the route that you're wanting to go into. I can remember, Mark, almost 20 years ago, kind of walking into like getting my first job at the bank, wanting to be an entrepreneur so badly, and just embarking on that journey of, the next 8 or 9 years of trying to desperately become an entrepreneur, and kind of trying and failing and feeling the very real reality at that time of feeling very discouraged, and like that it might never become a reality for me. I mean, I vividly remember it. It actually makes me feel kind of emotional thinking about it. Because I almost gave up on the dream of becoming an entrepreneur. And so kind of crazy.
Yeah, you and millions of other people, myself included. And I guess if I had to make one comment, I think that's one of the things that, as we talk to our candidates, that's kind of missing sometimes. There's just no guarantees to become entrepreneurial. And you have to understand, if you want to take that leap and you're doing it for the betterment of your life, please understand it just takes a while to get there. There's no get rich quick schemes. And yeah, sometimes you have to fail once or twice before you succeed. That's just the world. So I don't know. People got to toughen up a little bit, I think, sometimes.
No, I 100% agree. I mean, I had pretty much put my marriage on the line because my wife did not want to take money out of our home, and I kind of forced the hand. So it was like, if the business failed, I think everything was going to get burned down. So sometimes you just got to burn the boats and take a level of risk, or make a decision that's completely disproportionate to your comfort zone. And for some people, here's the reality though, and guys, we'll get into this, we'll dive into the resale, all that good stuff. Mark, I think it's totally okay if that's not the route that someone wants to go, or if that's how they're wired either.
The exact same thing. And as I'm thinking about it more, I think we need to spend more time, you always got to learn. You're always learning how to get better at what you do, right? And what we do is we help people every day. So how do we get better helping people? And I think maybe we need to have more conversations up front about just what you and I are talking about by saying, hypothetically, I'm glad you're here looking about interested in franchising, Mr. or Mrs. Potential Entrepreneur. Let me ask you this. If you put your life savings into a business that it failed, what would happen? And again, the right answer would be, boy, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Or the best answer is I'd come back and keep fighting. But if someone's like, there's no way in the world I could make that happen, well, then they're really saying they really don't want to be an entrepreneur, because there's no such thing as those guarantees, as you know, right? So we're always going to make ourselves better so we can help our customers and our clients better.
Yeah, 100%. All right, guys. Well, let's dive into it. So the first up is we have our featured resale of the week. So if you haven't tuned into one of our live newsletters or live streams, every week we pick a featured resale. We've got a portfolio of a few hundred of them. And the great news for you guys that are watching or listening, whether live or the replay, is you have the gentleman who selected this and knows all about it. So Mark, tell us a little bit about this resale.
Southeast Springfield, Missouri, that we were able to get the location. We will keep the brand confidential. It was my typo. I should have said brand available upon request, because we're making the location available. It's in the home service category, which, as you guys know who listen, 80% of the deals that we do are in that segment of business. The asking price for this business is $555,000. So immediately that says there's got to be something to this business if they're going to try to justify that purchase price. And the prior year sales, $644,000, right? So first thing I look at there is like, okay, sales price a little better than a dollar per what the sales were last year. So this looks like, just on the surface, of a business that has got some potential revenue in it to springboard into.
Nice.
I think we have something else. I think there's a couple. Was there anything? Yeah. Okay. So this is what I was going to do down to this take. So additionally, this is one of the brands. Obviously, it's in our portfolio. They have over 200 franchisees. That's a staggering number, right? Some brands never get to 100, let alone 200. So this is a very mature brand. So why we like resales and very mature brands is, in many cases, it may be the only way you can become a franchisee in these brands. They might just not have territory available, Tarek, in their backyard. So that's a plus. Potential to scale by acquiring neighboring franchisees. This happens to be a brand that we know has very successful franchisees. And as such, lots of them are aging out and kind of getting toward retiring. So there might be a lot more opportunity to grow if you get your feet in the door here. However, with all resales that actually are up and running, active, with a revenue stream and associates in it, prior leadership and or management experience is really a plus for you as a potential owner. Don't make the mistake some people make and say, I never did this before, and this is going to be the first time I do it, because a $555,000 purchase price is a lot of money to invest in something you haven't done. So it's really helpful to have that experience. And the franchisor, if you're interested in this resale and you get a chance to meet with them, they will check and see what your experience is as well. Because again, for these resales, that experience is very, very critical.
Fantastic. I don't really have anything else to add to that. I mean, Mark really hit on all of it, outside of, if you guys, if you're in the Springfield, Missouri area and you want to, get introduced to the brand and find out more about what it is, how it works, and be able to get connected to the seller, then you can go to franchiseempire.com/resales, be able to set up a free Zoom or call with our team and go from there. And if you're not in Springfield, Missouri, and you're thinking, I'd like to know if there are any resales available in my neck of the woods, then do the same thing. Submit. You'll be able to set up a meeting with our team. Our team will do a free check for you, and we'll see what's available. And if there's not anything available, we'll add you to a waiting list for specific areas. And if something pops up, we'll reach out to you. No harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul. And again, I'll just say this before we segue. I've said it, most of the times I'm doing these sessions with Tarek, but it's really going to be helpful for you as a buyer of a resale business to come to that meeting, to come to the introduction, pre-qualified by a lender. You have to be able to show the selling franchise owner that you're financially qualified to buy his or her business, because there's going to be a lot of people looking at these resales, and they'll weed you out if you say no. Even if you say, I got plenty of cash, that's not the same thing. So do yourself a favor. If you're deciding if this is the first business you're going to be involved with and you really want to resale, get yourself financially qualified, get a lender to say, so-and-so is qualified to buy a business of this much. It'll just put you at the top of the list, and it'll be a real advantage for you if in fact this resale resonates with you.
Yeah, 100%. And if you need any recommendations for lenders, we can help you with that. With that too. We know some quality lenders. All right, y'all. Let's move on to the next thing. So, a good old Napoleon Dynamite reference. Mark, did you ever see that movie back in the day?
I did. I'm embarrassed to say I did.
It's so funny, the things that get popular. Like, the movie was so obscure and weird.
Stupidest movie ever made, in my opinion, but hilarious.
Oh man. Well, let's he's clearly
I don't know if our good friend Basilio Morales is going to be really happy that we used that photo to describe him, but okay.
I think that's us. That's describing us celebrating.
Yeah, fair enough. That's better.
Yeah.
Not by much, but it's better.
Oh man. But yeah, so Mark, tell us about our recent guys. We do a whole segment. We love to celebrate and just congratulate one of our recent Franchise Empire clients that we worked with, and just kind of share their story. And so, Mark, break it down for us.
Yeah, I will. And I'll also say, as I'm going to read through some of these, I'm going to share a lot of the personal information about this candidate. So I think it's important just to mention that whenever we get a candidate, our job is to kind of help find the right franchise business for them. But that only comes when we get to really know the people that we're speaking to and get to know their whys and what motivates them. So this isn't something that we decided to call 20 minutes ago and say, can you give us the answer to these questions? These are pieces of information we know about our candidates all the way through the process. And I think that's part of the reason why we become successful, because we know a lot about these people. It makes it easier for us to match up businesses that might be of interest to them. But Basilio, very nice man, was working with Chris on our team, Chris Werrell. Very proud military veteran with a strong background in real estate and a vision to do something more, a business ownership rooted in service and long-term stability. While he's continuing to work with his federal government position, he'd been searching for that right franchise opportunity in the Tampa, Florida area. He wanted a brand that aligned with his values. And again, because he's a military guy, discipline, reliability, helping others. Boy, what three major great skills to bring to the table. That's when he connected with Franchise Empire, and he met our stellar broker, Chris. And together they explored a variety of opportunities, took a very thoughtful approach to the due diligence. And in the end, he found a franchise in the essential home maintenance space, something that aligned with his values and feel a real need in the market. And I will also mention, because I talk to Chris about our candidates all the time, it took several stabs at it to find the right one for Basilio, right? It doesn't always mean the first brand that we introduced to you was the right one. And they went back and forth, and give credit to Basilio. He stayed with the process and kept giving Chris the feedback that was important. And, it takes two to get over the finish line. But this brand offered a very clear mission, very strong support system, and a business model that made sense for Basilio's lifestyle and goals. Now he's officially an owner, launching his new business in Tampa, Florida. And we wish him nothing but the best. And we have a feeling we'll be staying in touch with him, because I believe he was interested in maybe doing another franchise once he makes this one up and running, which we'd be happy to chat with him. So again, it's the culmination of what we do. We take tremendous joy and satisfaction when our candidates sign and become franchise owners. It's very fulfilling living it vicariously through them. And usually they stay in touch and let us know how things are going. So very, very, very successful story. Chris did an amazing job staying with him, and we can only help those who want to help themselves.
Yeah, well said. Congrats, Basilio. Super excited for you, man.
Absolutely.
And appreciate your service. And I think that from what I've seen and heard, that military veterans make great franchisees because
They
they're great
certainly
at
do.
execution and following the system.
They certainly do. Very
Which is
humble as well.
nice. Yeah, true. And which is typically when there was a stretch on our podcast where I would interview and meet with a lot of founders of franchisors or CEOs, and I would always ask them what's the difference between the most successful franchisees and the ones that aren't, and they would always say following the system, which I think is an oversimplification personally, but it just shows there are it's just crazy to think about how many people come into a franchise and try to reinvent the wheel and just don't trust what the franchisor is telling them. And if you're not going to trust what the franchisor is going to tell you, don't buy that brand. If you don't feel confident in their strategy, just choose something different. Choose a different brand that you feel confident in their strategy.
Absolutely. And one other thing too, and when you say it is oversimplification, I think there's some truth to that. However, the best brands, which we feel we work with the best brands, are always letting candidates know, yes, you've got to follow the model, but there's also things that the franchisor are responsible for, but there's always going to be things the franchisee is responsible for above and beyond following the playbook. For example, creating awareness in your local marketing, right? Taking the information that the brand gives you and springboarding it. So the franchise owners that do the best can follow the systems and don't ignore what they're responsible for. So that's the beauty of the package when they both meet in the middle.
Yeah, 100%. Totally agree. Let's dive into our franchise of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Every week, what we've been doing on this recent series is going down the franchise 500 list and picking the largest, most well-known franchises. Yes, that is exactly, and one of the things we did here. Stratus Building Solutions. So they launched. So, guys, have you ever even heard of them? Mark, had you heard of them before this?
I've been in this business now for many years, and I got to be honest, no, I didn't.
I love it.
Didn't.
I love it. I learned.
I could lie and say I did, but then if you quizzed me, I'd fail. So I might as well come clean. I did not know until I read these notes before you and I got together. I was like, wow, I'm curious to hear what Doris got to say about it.
No, and I asked because I mean before I did the video on this, because I think I had done a video before we put this in the newsletter. I hadn't either. So to me, it's always fascinating. I always learn something new every day, and it's just a testament to why we do, these newsletters and share what we're sharing, because there's always something to learn and to learn about. And whether you decide to buy a franchise or not, a recent video that I recorded, I said, well, no matter how you feel about franchising, like, just cool. If you're an entrepreneur, take the idea, go model it, go do your own thing, figure it out. There's plenty of people that do it that way. There's always something to learn and kind of mold it to whatever, however it will benefit you. So
no doubt.
Tune in, listen to this, however this will benefit you. I love hearing about stories of businesses that built something epic personally. I think it's really cool. So they launched in 2006 in LA. Simple mission: disrupt a $100 billion commercial cleaning industry by giving franchise owners a way to scale without expensive storefronts, heavy overhead, or a huge staff. Something that Mark and I know something about. And instead of the traditional model where every franchisee works directly with the franchisor, Stratus introduced a different approach, the master franchise system, where a territory owner effectively becomes a mini franchisor for their reason. Mark, do you want to just kind of give some distinction on how that works?
Sure. Typically, when you become a franchise owner, you invest in a territory or maybe two geographic territories, and that's where you build your business. Or if you buy a resale, you're buying an existing resale franchise business that's based on a territorial configuration. The master situations that Tarek's describing is where you'd come in and you'd buy a state or a region. For example, you'd buy Eastern Massachusetts, and Eastern Massachusetts would ultimately have, I'm making it up, 25 franchise owners. The area is large enough to have 25 franchise owners. You, as the master, really become a minor franchisor, your job becomes finding other franchisees who want to follow that model, and you really act as their franchisor. You help them with their training, you help them with getting onboarded, and then you obviously get a piece of the pie. You get a share in the royalties. It's a way different concept. It's not meant for the faint of heart. It's also not meant for people who've never been franchising before, but it's a fantastic way to grow a multi-million-dollar business, and ultimately make it passive as well, because you'll ultimately bring people in to, because you're going to be running a major organization. You're going to need a lot of help to do that. So we have some candidates, as you know, Tarek, that we're talking to other brands about that have a master. Not many of them have those, but ones that do, we have it's a short list, but we're pretty intimate with those.
Yeah. Yeah, master franchising it's pretty unique. Definitely could be have one of the higher exit potentials if you're able to successfully become a master franchisee and build up a pretty successful unit or system, because there's the recurring revenue of your franchisees and the royalties that you're getting. It can become pretty cool. And typically the skill set there, you as the master, you're pretty good at sales and business development.
Absolutely, because you're selling the franchises. You're really becoming a franchisor. Yeah, no doubt.
And in some of them, you're also responsible for going and getting the business for the franchisees, and the franchisees are essentially just kind of like executing the contracts that you're getting in some of the models.
Yeah,
which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. And again, in some cases they're called masters, in some cases they're called area development opportunities, but they all mean the same thing.
Yeah. So by 2009, just 3 years after launching, Stratus had already sold 40 plus master franchises. And their model stood out for two reasons. Again, because they had master franchise licenses available, and you could recruit other franchisees and earn a portion of the franchise fees and royalties. And Stratus's early decision to become the first commercial cleaning franchise to go fully green, offering green seal certified products that reduce harsh chemicals and environmental impact. Yeah, definitely. The more you can have a competitive advantage, the better. Sometimes when it comes to giving my kids the homeopathic medicine and the ones with the chemicals, one with the chemicals just work better. But we'll usually try the homeopathic ones first. I don't know how it works with like the chemicals for cleaning, but I just thought that'd be funny to say.
Yeah, it's funny.
Today Stratus operates 4,000 franchise. I'm just thinking like screw the non-harsh stuff. Give me the good stuff that works.
Especially if you're cleaning some commercial buildings cement floor. Do you care if there's chemicals in there or not? Just clean the damn floor. Just get it clean.
Oh man. Today Stratus operates 4,000 plus unit franchises and master offices across 57 major cities. Customers range from office buildings and schools, medical facilities, home builders, all sorts of stuff. They have a predictable recurring revenue that compounds year after year. Mark, I think we have a brand like this in our portfolio similar to this.
We do.
Okay. Thought so. Yeah. So by the way, if you guys are probably not going to happen with Stratus, but if you guys are interested in a kind of a brand like this, then reach out to us and we can check and see if your territory is available.
Yeah, and commercial cleaning is a really excellent business for a couple of reasons. It's so different than residential cleaning, right? Residential cleaning, you're cleaning for somebody who owns their home. If you leave one piece of dust on the floor, they'll fire you tomorrow and not hire you back. I'm not saying you can do a lousy job, but the commercial cleaning business is mandated, right? These commercial property owners or these landlords have tenants who are paying rent. They can't afford to have these places clean. So these businesses are actually getting their cleaners in every week on a recurring basis. And most of it's done at night. So your crews are going to go in there in the nighttime when people aren't there. It is a tremendously valuable business. I will say, yes, the challenge will be building a crew and developing your team and maintaining them. But I always believe if you're making a ton of money, pay them some of that money, keep them locked in, give them reason to show up and go to work. But commercial cleaning is one of our favorite categories.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, our office is here in a giant office complex, and what was this? Maybe about 6 months ago or so. The office complex was having, and there's a lot of professional offices, title companies, dental offices, financial planning practices, all sorts of stuff in this office complex that we're in. And there were some issues with whatever the cleaning company they were using to come clean the offices after hours, because it's like a full, kind of like what's called a full service lease, where they'll come and vacuum and do all that stuff, and it's included in the lease. And they swapped out with a different company who's way better. And I was just thinking, on the other side of it, as they were, firing this company and hiring another one, I thought, man, what an opportunity for someone, whoever owns the business that's getting hired, because they're the people that own this building are part of a bigger, like, property group, and they
Sure.
own and property manage for a bunch of other buildings. So just imagine the opportunity in this space is quite significant, and the recurring revenue, by the way, element of it is pretty nice. If you're doing a really darn good job and you have a contract, my goodness, I mean, you could get a multi-six-figure contract that could be 3-5 years, something like that. So again, this sort of business really, for if you're someone out there that's like really business development minded, you're great at like building relationships, B2B sales, this sort of business can, really do well for you. Let's dive
Yeah.
into the numbers though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mark, were you going to say something?
No, just, well, two things I was going to mention. Getting fired as a commercial cleaning company is hard. And I'll tell you why. Because if you do a really good job, you're never getting fired, right? Commercial cleaning is the kind of a business where when tenants show up in the morning to go to work, they're not commenting on how clean the office is. They accept that it's clean. They'll comment if it's dirty. So all you got to do as a commercial cleaning business, easy said, all you do, but show up and clean the place. If you clean the place and you show up and you're reliable, I promise you, you're never going to get fired, right? Because you're doing a good job. That's the goal. So I wondered how poor the company was that your landlord fired. They either weren't showing up or they went back and tried to raise rates or something. But stay in your lane, do what you're being hired to do, and you'll really benefit in this sector. It's got any kind of recurring business model that you succeed at is fantastic. And the other benefit too of the recurring model is once you start getting that under your belt, it makes it so much easier for you to get future financing, because banks are going to be all over the fact that you can count on that revenue. It's contracted revenue, right? So they're way more likely to give you opportunities to lend because they know that money's coming in versus businesses that aren't recurring. So tons of benefits from it.
Yeah, 100%. Let's talk about some of the numbers. Initial investment between $109,000 and $345,000 to get up and open. Net worth requirement of just $250,000. The master franchise fee is between $75,000 and $200,000. Royalty structure. Let's see. Unit franchisee royalty is 20% under $300,000 in revenue, drops to 10% over $500K. I think it's so high because I think in this instance, this is one of the ones where the master franchisee does get the business for the franchisees. I'm pretty sure they do the business development. Master franchisee royalty to franchisor is 3 to 4%. Wow. So, I mean, you could be getting somewhere between basically 6 to 17%. Is your spread. Am I doing the math right? That could be your spread. It's between 6 to 17%.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can really build up quite the annuity there in that business. And then if we look at average annual gross revenues, we can see, let's see, 2024 franchise regions, average annual gross revenues, 3.2 million. The highest performer, let's see, lowest performer, 185,000, highest performer, 14.8 million. So
what a gap.
Yeah, what a gap. Cool. Well, if you guys are interested in this sort of business model, and you're thinking, hey, I'm either interested in more of like a boring business that's maybe commercial cleaning, facility solutions, those sort of spaces. We have actually a few in that category. Then reach out to us, franchiseempire.com/check territory. And you'll be able to set up a Zoom meeting with our team. We can check to see what might be available in your specific desired area based on what you qualify for financially. So we'll see, hey, are there any master franchise options like this? Or if you're just thinking, hey, I want to know what good franchises are available in my area no matter what. I'm agnostic. I just want to pick whatever makes the most money. I think that's the wrong way to think about it, but we're happy to talk to you and explain why that's the wrong reason to think about it, while also being able to find you franchises that show strong financials, meaning franchisees are doing well on average. Okay. Last but not least, passive income, our favorite topic. So the number, this piece of content is the number one. I think this was a video that we. Yes. Okay. I thought it was one that we did together. I was in the thumbnail, but I'm pretty sure that was me, Mark, and Laura. So this is the number one mistake buyers make with passive franchises. So if you're someone who's been thinking, I'd like to buy a franchise, just hire a manager and let the business run for itself. It doesn't quite work like that, but it's an important conversation, because at some point, I did get to this point with one of my franchise locations, but not immediately. And I think I may in the video talk about how that happened, but you should go watch it. It's on our Franchise Empire YouTube channel. If you're remotely interested in buying a franchise, this is an important video and topic to watch and just consider and know overall. Mark, any without giving away the whole shebang of the video.
No, I'm going to keep my mouth shut then, because I can't just do it in a few words. It's a very passionate topic of mine, as you know. Check out the video, and if you still have questions, we're happy to answer them for you. But it's a big mistake people make, and it's just not based in reality in many cases. And you really got to earn the right to have a passive business. You've got to earn that right. It's not a given. So I'll kind of leave it at that, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Brandon has an interesting question. You said that you think Clean Juice is a dying brand. Will you ever do a rundown to explain? That's a great question. I hadn't really thought about it, but maybe, Brandon, that's a great content idea. So thank you for giving me that idea. I know there's a guy, a YouTuber out there who his videos get so many views. He does a really good job breaking down the rise and downfall of X, Y, and Z brand. And he just kind of tells the story pretty nonchalantly by just standing outside pretty much in front of the store. From the production standpoint, I'm trying to think how he must just read off the notes and just pause. I'm like, how does he give such accurate, incredibly insightful data just standing outside of the store like that? I'm sure he must have some notes, but yeah, maybe I'll do one on Clean Juice. I think it's pretty interesting what's happened there. Outside of that, that's it, guys. That's all we got for today. So this will be our last live stream of the year. We may put some a pre-recorded one or two to go live while we're on break. Not sure, but I guess you'll find out. Mark, any parting words?
No. As you and I will chat a little bit, but I hope you have a very happy, healthy holiday season with your family, and everybody who's listening. We hope the same for you. We will be back first of the year, and we look forward to helping, I don't know, over 100 people next year, right? We're gonna have over 100 people help. We're going to help over 100 people next year become franchise owners, and we're very, very excited about it. So maybe one of them is you.
Maybe. By the way, our office, guys, will be closed from the Monday the 22nd to January 5th. So if you do, input your info and go to book a meeting, and why can I not book a meeting until January 5th? It's because our team is resting and recovering, and we're going to enjoy it, and hope that you do too, but happy to talk to you in January. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one. Thanks, Mark.
Bye. Thank you.